Hello and welcome to Cycling News Daily Stage Analysis from the Tour Down Under. I'm Jane Aubrey, this is Phil Anderson. Phil, welcome back.
Thanks very much, Jane.
We've just seen another sprint finish with Andre Greipel, of course, winning yet another stage. He's 13th here at the Tour Down Under. How did you see it?
Well, it was anticipated it was going to come together as a field sprint today. Every day in the beginning, it seems like whenever the flag goes down, right in kilometre zero, there's a breakaway. And yet again. But I think everybody picked this stage just to be a field sprint, so it was all brought back together, not too far from the finish. And the Lotto team was there in force, and that we saw it in stage one, very very similar. His team just lined it out for the finish. They were never really, there was never really anybody else in the picture.
They weren't really given a chance either. Unfortunately, we've seen yet another high-speed crash here at a finish of a stage at the Tour Down Under. Today's incident happened just slightly after the 1K to go banner. We've had cars parked just to the side of the road and no barriers. We've had riders very lucky to actually avoid it. Is there a problem here?
The sprint's always going to be risky. I'm not sure what the rules and regs say, but obviously I did notice there were cars, there were cars there, and you could see the riders swerving to avoid them. But it's part of the race. I saw riders leaning on each other as well, and that wasn't because of the cars at all. There were no cars at that stage, and so I think one of the crashes may have been caused because of there were cars parked on the side, but the other one certainly wasn't.
And certainly windy conditions too, of course, played a factor in the sprint as well.
It's blustery. Look, it's part of it. It's part of it. Like, you can't just automatically think there aren't going to be any cars on the side of the road. There are obstacles just like roundabouts and everything else that we're faced with in the final kilometres. It's very unfortunate. A couple of riders had sustained a serious injury from what I understand. So hopefully they'll be back on the bike soon and up ready for the next stage.
Saw a pretty big breakaway today. It was for all but 8 kilometres of the stage. It was largely inconsequential. We had Damien Howson from the Uni SA Australia team and also world champion Philippe Gilbert. Didn't have a huge role to play in what happened today, but a fantastic experience for young Damien Howson.
Yes, it was. Dave Sanders, the director of the team, he encourages his boys not to be afraid to go out there and have a dig. And but I think it was Gilbert actually attacked today, and you can see. I spoke to him after the finish, and he said he's just here for training, and he just needs to put in a long sustained effort, which he certainly endured today. And I think he could still have a dig tomorrow as well.
Saw an improved and more challenging parcours for this year's Tour Down Under, of course. We've had the corkscrew climb already. Yet again, though, it all comes down to Old Wollonga Hill tomorrow with 2 laps around that finishing circuit. How does it play out?
Well, I think the corkscrew, has played a major part in it, because last year when they came to Wollonga Hill, there were, fractions of a second in it, not actual seconds or minutes. Some of the favourites coming into the race are, a couple of minutes down. So it's going to be quite a bit different. I think the Sky team will be trying to control it, maybe try and let some riders who are a few minutes down go. Nobody that's going to be dangerous on general classification, and as we get closer to the finish, I'm sure there'll be many riders trying to have a go.
The gaps to remember here are 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 8 seconds and 15 seconds. How much can be made up on Geraint Thomas tomorrow, do you think?
Oh, well, it's still open for all those riders in the who are within a minute strike. So I think it's quite open. You can lose a lot of time if Geraint Thomas is having a bad day, and it can happen even in short tours like this. A lot of the riders that are here, such as Simon Gerrans, have been ill. So there's a lot of riders who are suffering, and you can just have a bad day. You could be dehydrated, or you could come down with a dose of something or other. There's been some riders with gastro, so who knows what the state of affairs are going to be on the start line tomorrow. So it's still open, and we're expecting a big crowd out there. And I think last year, they broke records on Wollonga Hill, and I think tomorrow's going to be the same.
Can you pinpoint a winner for us?
Oh, geez, I'd like to say Gero again. He's an old favourite, and we saw him do so well there last year. But look, I think I can't put money on it.
I'm going to go with Jack Bobridge. I think he's riding particularly well, and Blanco were particularly aggressive today and certainly keen to do what they could to get Sky out of any bonus points. So we'll see what happens, but I still think we're going to see Geraint Thomas in Oka come tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I tend to think so, but I agree. I think Jack will have a good day tomorrow. I saw him at the finish, and he looked pretty lean, and he's hungry, and he did lose a bit of time the other day, so I think he'd be eager to put a place on the board.
Well, let's see what happens. We'll see you tomorrow for another daily stage analysis from the Tour Down Under.